And welcome everyone. We're here for more Kirby. Before we start, this is Kirby Superstar Ultra. It is the DS remake of the original SNES classic Kirby Superstar. And there are a couple of differences throughout the run. I'll try to point them out from here and there. But mostly it's that most glitches have been fixed in this version of the run. Of the game, so you won't be seeing some of the more crazier things you can do in the SNES version, but that doesn't make this one any worse. As a matter of fact, I think it's better, but that's my personal opinion. Anyways, is the tech ready for a countdown? Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go! So right off the bat, we are forced into Spring Breeze, which is sort of the tutorial section of the game. Here you are going to learn how the game kind of works. And I'm going to try and start off instantly with a mix, which is a little bit tough to set up at first, so right off the bat I need to focus a little bit. And that's already bad. That's not a good start. Usually, I grab that star and shoot it back at Poppy. Okay, so this is going to be the setup. I bumped that one over there. Nice! First try! So with most Kirby games, how the mix works is that you swallow 2 enemies and that causes a mix wheel to appear. And it's not random at all, and so the spot is decided by which 2 enemies you suck up, and the rest is just a timing trick, and it's a 4-frame trick in the end. So we like to use Jet in this run a lot, because it's ridiculously fast. So you might have already noticed from the way I killed Wispy Woods. Okay, let's see. The move we'll be using the most is this air dash move. It's basically just running and running and then jumping and then just pressing B repeatedly. And you want to do that in a pattern or like in a rhythm. That's basically the safest you can do it. Let's see if I can get this quick kill. I'm gonna do it safely. There we go. That's one of the stronger moves with Jet. You go for full charge, and then you can grab objects, and with that you do a lot of damage to enemies, and you can quick kill this boss like that, for instance. It's actually been quite a while since I've done Jet Kirby through here, so I'm a little rusty on it. This boss also becomes a bit of a breeze. As you can see, Jet is just ridiculously overpowered, and at the same time, it is a great movement option. There we go. And here we have Kreko. I didn't need to do a full charge there, I forgot. And we got a little Kirby dance again. Damn, I'm being laughed at. Anyways, this is the final boss of Spring Breeze. This is DDD. He flinches every time you do an attack, so he becomes really easy to defeat with Jet. And then we get the final Kirby dance of this section. And then we get a pretty long cutscene. So instead of watching that cutscene, we're gonna soft reset. That completely skips the cutscene, but it doesn't. It does add to our completion of the game. So because we do that, we don't have to watch all the cutscenes, luckily. And that saves a lot of time, I can tell you that much. So here, right at the beginning of Dynablade, and guess what we're going to do? We're going to do another mix. A little early there. This is not Amazing Mirror, we do not like wheel here. That's again early. Sometimes these mixes can be a little finicky. And your muscle memory might get a little bit screwed over. Come on, a little later. There we go. That's like 5th try or something. That's really silly. Luckily, that mix is very easy to set up again, so that makes life pretty great. Again, as you can see, with a full charge, you just like go all the way to the other end. Here we go. So here we're going to get our first invincibility candy. It does exactly what it says, but at the same time, you also get a bit of a speed boost through it. Only horizontally, though. And it is probably the only power-up in a Kirby game. Everything else is abilities. I'm very clear about that. I will do horrible things to people that say that Kirby has power-ups. Not horrible things in that way. So this is part of the 100% requirements. In Dynablade, we have to hit 2 of these switches, which unlock ability rooms. And we need to hit both of them for 100%. And we got our very first auto-scroller. Who doesn't love them? I sure don't. I was about to say that. In the SNES version, you can actually skip this entire auto-scroller. The way that works is via a sort of camera trick where you get pushed up by a helper. However, in this version of the game, the camera is more zoomed out in a sense, and because of that, it doesn't actually work anymore. I have actually tried to replicate the glitch, and it just didn't work at all. So that's kind of sad. Another thing about this game is that, which is different from the SNES version, is that this game actually has ceilings. So we cannot skip this mid-boss fight, for instance. In the SNES version, you could just like jump up all the way and skip that fight. And that goes for a lot of other mid-boss fights, so we'll be seeing those a lot. So we actually have to be good with Jet. Shots fired. Do I prefer a game that you can't skip auto-scrollers in? I guess. It gives you a nice moment of rest, because this is a 2-hour speedrun. So having a nice moment of respite throughout the run is pretty nice. That was a really good wind room, by the way. Fair enough. There we go. So a thing you might notice when I'm using Jet is that I'm not losing any height. That is actually on purpose. If you hold up, you will not lose any height. As a matter of fact, if you do perfect intervals of your Jet, you'll actually gain a pixel every single Jet, which actually can mess you up a little bit. But you can also hold down, and then at the end of your Jet, you will fall down a little bit. And that is used throughout the run to make certain movements work really well. Sometimes you just want to stay perfectly straight, sometimes you want to fall down just a little bit, then you don't hold a D-pad input, and otherwise, when you really want to fall down, you just hold the down button. But mostly I'll be holding up throughout jetting. Because keeping your height is pretty useful in many occasions. Dang. Here we're gonna go for another invincibility candy. I'll move over. That was not really good. So the next switch is right here. A lot of people can miss this one easily if you do not look out for it. Because who the heck goes to the left in a platformer, right? It's all about going to the right. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. And we're gonna attempt another mix right here. This one is kind of special. Let's see if I can get it. Nice, first try. So, a fun thing about the ability wheel in this game is that for some reason, candies are also on it. So you can actually mix for candies. And in this case, it is used to make this mid-boss rush basically a breeze. And that saves like 15 seconds getting that mix. And that doesn't sound like much, but in this game that is a crazy amount. So now we're going to go over to the final boss. This is probably one of the hardest bosses in the entire game. So I'm going to focus for it. It's going to be really tough, so keep your eyes open. It's also got really good music. And that was the boss. Actually, that was a really easy boss. On the SNES version, that boss is actually a lot tougher because the amount of frames you can grab those stars is a lot smaller than in this version. In this version, you got like half a second to grab them, which is an eternity. So now we're going to go over to Gourmet Race. Gourmet Race is kind of special when it comes to movement. As you see me running, you might notice I run a lot faster than usual. So while running, for some reason, you have the speed while having an invincibility candy. But the moment you jump, you lose all of that speed. So you'll see it right here. And you see the entire thing just slowing down. Not even sub 20. That's really bad. But of course.
We have a €5 donation from Critical Sid saying, "This is for my lovely kin dad. Good luck on the run and enjoy all of Kirby's wonderful power-ups."
I thought you were with me on this, Sid. But thank you very much, Sid. I'll have to punish you later. So in the third level of Gourmet Race, we're actually going to grab ourselves an ability, and we're gonna grab Wing. Now you think we'd like to use Jet, but Wing has a pretty special move, and I kind of messed it up. If you mash the A and B button at the same time, you can get what is called a dive cancel, and by doing so you can gain vertical height like a lot faster than usual, which is really useful for this section, because there's a lot of vertical movement here, which Jet isn't that good at. Jet is better at horizontal movement. Something like that. Nice, a sub 40, that's really good actually. That's a lot tougher than it looks. So that was Gourmet Race, and now we're gonna go over to the Great Cave Offensive. Now the Great Cave Offensive is kind of special. If you look on the bottom screen, you'll see 0 out of 60. Well, this is a 100% run, so you can already guess that we need to collect all 60 treasures to get 100% in this specific level, or game mode rather. So a lot of these treasures have very interesting puzzles regarding abilities, or are just really annoyingly placed so that you kind of need to know from by heart where they are. Little trick there, by the way, if you have an enemy in your mouth and you grab a chest, what you have in your mouth will simply disappear. So here we're gonna grab Wing again, simply because it's the fastest movement ability that is available to us right now. These chests here do not have a lot of special tricks to them, so it's easiest to just have a good movement ability. Oop. So here I need to be careful not to break that block over there, because if you stand on it, it breaks. Because if I do that, that chest will fall into the lava, and chests do not like lava. They kind of burn. I'm gonna go down here and grab this one. The screw attack. There we go. So here the game expects you to go all the way to the right and hit a block from the left. However, it doesn't really need to be done. You can just do this. Certain abilities have hurt boxes that can go through that wall and just hit the block from the other side. Also, hardest myth boss fight in the game. There we go. Now here is a little bit of a toughie. I'm gonna try and stay in between those two Gordos coming up, but I need some good luck from Sir Kibble, and he's giving me good luck, so I can do that. This is like about half a second faster, and if Kibble wasn't nice to us, we wouldn't be able to stay in between them. Get this one over here. So another property of the wing ability is that it can cut through ropes, which is useful for the final treasure of Tree. So now we have 13, and on the bottom screen you see this little coin appear next to where I am, and that basically means that I cleared out all the treasures here, which is good. So right before the boss we're gonna switch into our favorite ability. We're gonna go back to Jet. And I got bad luck on Fatty Will here. There's two patterns he can do, and this is the bad one because he's off screen for a very long amount of time. Luckily though, it's not too hard of a boss fight. So here the game wants you to do use the minecart, but minecarts are slow. Why use a minecart when you have Jet? Also, my jetting is kind of off today. I blame it on Rust. Oop. So this chest is a kind of a mean one. You have to go all the way to the bottom here to grab it. It's one of those that you just need to be mindful of your surroundings of. Over here I'm going to do something special. I'm going to charge up a jet. And I'm going to keep that charge. So the way you're keeping your charge works is that if you jump or if you shield, you charge up, and by pressing B you can use it again. Grab the pot here. And the reason why I charge it up there and keep it is because I can use it right here to press that button. Saves a good second or so. I'm gonna go up here. So here we're gonna grab the Helix fossil. Praise Helix. Sadly, we also have to grab the Dome fossil. So there are a lot of Nintendo references in this game through Great Cave Offensive. This boss fight is kind of fun to do, and I messed it up a little bit. Usually I've already killed the body as well. There we go. Now we're gonna go into the middle. The middle starts with some water. Because, well, this is a 2D platformer, it needs water. So for this one, if you mash A, for some reason, you will end up being lower and you will not land on the platform, but it's a little bit random. It's kind of a weird little tech. I'm gonna go down here, grab the power paintbrush, which is a reference to Canvas Curse, or Kirby and the Power Paintbrush if you are European. This chest, if you miss it, you lose about a minute. It's really, really stupid. Ooh. So a weird thing about blocks in this game is that sometimes breakable blocks can be bonked on, which shouldn't happen, but I think it's like a property. If you hit the wrong corner at the wrong way, it will make you bonk. At one point I heard a KSS runner talk about it, because that is almost directly pulled from the KSS engine. There are a lot of engine similarities between KSSU and KSS. There are also enough differences though. So, you might have noticed for a while now, especially since you've seen a lot of text pop up, that I'm playing this game in Japanese. Now, why am I playing the game in Japanese? Well, people who've watched a lot of speedruns will probably already say, well, because it's faster. Well, mostly because of this fight it's faster, or just this thing in general. So you see the text appear. For some reason, in the English version, the text appears a lot slower. And we don't know why. And over the entire run it saves over 2 minutes, simply to run on Japanese. It's really crazy. Also, this is a nice reference to RPG games. We'll be seeing this boss a lot, and every time you get bad RNG, you lose about 5 seconds. And, well, over the entire run, it has happened to me before that I lost 2 minutes just on these bosses. It can get really ridiculous. So here we got another minecart section, and once again, we'll not be using the minecart. Because Jet is simply faster. Even Wing is faster. We used to go down there with Wing, but we changed the route around. So this is Tower. Tower is probably my least favorite part of Great Cave Offensive. It is just, the route is actually pretty awesome, and I still need to look at the task and reroute sections of this part. Because the task does some really cool things that I think we can incorporate into the run as well. But for now, I'll stick to this route. It's a lot safer. These Meta Knight fights become pretty easy with Jet. So with this fight I need to be a little bit careful, because if I go too far to the left, I will break the bomb block, thus destroying the chest, which is not really nice. This is, by the way, the 3-star cane from Kirby Squeak Squad, or Mouse Attack if you are European. And we're going to switch to Hammer. The only reason we're switching to Hammer is because we need it a little bit later on. One of the task route changes that I've been thinking about is actually keeping Jet through here and doing a stone mix a little bit later on. But that stone mix is really tough. It's like right here you can do a stone mix. But it's not a fun one to do at all. I've practiced it a little bit at one point and it was not fun. I'm gonna get up here. So for this chest, we simply grab the chest, and I'm holding the shield button down, so that I will not get hit by the Gordos. Or at least not hurt. So the reason why we need hammer is because we need to hit that peg over there so we can go down into the basement. And this gives me a moment to drink some water. This is one of the few breaks I have in the game, so I cherish it. Stay hydrated. So the basement is a little bit annoying, as there is this boss over here, which can grab you, and every time he grabs you, you instantly lose your ability. And I would very much like to keep fire. There we go. Get the Koopa shell. I'm gonna help her fire. Now, what helpers can do is they can help you with puzzles. For instance, Burning Leo, for some reason, can breathe fire underwater, which Kirby can't do. Why? Don't ask me. And also you get the falchion over there, but the fun fact, I recently learned what a falchion actually looks like, and that looks nothing like a falchion. I can tell you that much. So here we're gonna kill ourselves. We can't go all the way back up with the elevator, but that's just really slow. Instead we're gonna do a death warp and do a mix right here. This time we're gonna mix for wing. That was a first try mix, that was really nice. So we're gonna need wing because there's a lot of vertical movement coming up. And this is the worst room in the game. It's so bad, in fact, that I'm using a safe strat over here. Usually I go through here with just having wing. But if you touch any of these abilities that you use, you will instantly get sleep, and that will lose you your wing. But for some reason, helpers do not have sleep, so they cannot sleep. Kind of sad, really. I'm gonna go up here. That was pretty good. The ending was a little bit sloppy. Go up here. There's actually a pretty big like draft going down there, so you need to make sure you use the springs. Now we're gonna make a wing helper, and we're gonna swallow stone. And we're gonna do a little helper jump there. We need this specific combination of abilities a little bit later on for a puzzle. So we're kind of stuck with stone for a little bit. I swear it's faster. So we're gonna go over to the boss right here, but you know, stone isn't the best ability to fight the boss with. I think I should turn back. We'll go back there later. Should I keep health? I'm looking at my health for a moment because I need to figure something out. Okay, never mind. I know enough now. Thank you, game. So for this chest, we need the stone ability, because there's an updraw, well, an upstream here, or however you call that. Ah, damn. You can do a double helper jump there. It's slightly faster. So this is the puzzle where we need wing and stone for. I'm gonna go down here. Oh. Damn, that was kind of bad of me. Whoa, that's the wrong input. Oh. Oh my lord. Oh, what am I doing? I'm quickly gonna grab this chest here. Let's hope I don't mess up too much. Oh, I died. Oh, so, too bad. Just kidding. Remember that I went into the boss room? That actually sets your death warp flag back at this room. So death warping there puts us all the way back here. And we're gonna fight the boss. This is Camellia Arm. We damage boost there because the tongue will grab you even if you shield. So for some reason, when you have iframes though, nothing will happen to you. So Ninja is pretty cool. We're gonna use that right here. Gonna throw a little kunai to go into this secret area to grab another chest. And go down here. So the gimmick in this room is that you need to light the candles to figure out where the secret entrance is, but I already know where it is, so just going straight there to grab the ring. Go down here. Ah, damn, I missed the select button there. Now we're gonna switch back to Jet, and you might have noticed that there is a little golden coin next to the tower area. This means that I have all the treasure here, so we're gonna leave. As a matter of fact, in any percent, you can actually just completely skip the tower and just go straight to this minecart section. Yeah, that was a little sloppy. Ah, damn. If you hit the button right, you can actually make all the birds fly to the right rather than to the left, which is a little bit faster. Saves a couple of frames. So this one, as a casual player, I never learned that with a full charge you could hold down. And I just tried doing it with a full charge without doing that. And at that point, if you try that, it becomes a frame perfect trick. And I actually did get it. So, good job, kid me. So we're gonna go over here and fight Bugsy again. Bugsy can be kind of annoying. But this is fine. This is a pretty decent one. Gonna go down here. Full charge. Ah, I got unlucky with Grizzo there. If you time breaking the block there right, you can actually get the Gordo out of the pool. It's somewhat of a fun thing to do for me. So here we're gonna quickly help our Jet, and we're gonna grab Crash, one of the biggest damage dealing abilities in the game. And we're gonna press a button with it. And grab the Orichalcum. I do know most of these names still, which is pretty cool. So the reason why we went right first is because when you grab the star, it'll always put you on this spot. So it saves you the travel time to go a little bit further to the left. Again, saves just a little bit of time. And we're gonna go over to a treasure that I definitely missed back in the day. This one is just so sneaky, because the way you're supposed to be able to find it is like, because there's a waterfall there, you can go through it, but it is too sneaky. Also, you might have noticed a little audio glitch there. The Japanese version has a lot of audio glitches that the English version does not. One of them is that when you light a rope and you go off screen, then the sound of the rope will actually disappear. Ah, damn! I couldn't get it there. Whee! I'm gonna go over here. It's the right button, not the left one. You do not want to know how many times I've accidentally hit the left button. The left button releases the Gordos, which is kind of tough. And this is the Lamia skill, or the Ramia skill. The English translation is actually Ramia skill, but I think in OOT it is the Lamia skill, but I'm not sure. Go over here. It's probably one you could also miss easily, the shiny bamboo. And you know, I'm getting just a little bit tired of Jet. So we're gonna switch to wheel. You might have noticed I just went in wheel pun. At least I hope I'm not rubbering off on anyone, but I really think that wheel is sometimes pretty awesome. Let's see. We're gonna go down here now, and we're pretty good on treasures right now. I haven't missed a single one yet. Fun fact, in the SNES version you cannot open chests while you're on wheelie. It is really weird. Huh, wheelie. Anyways, so now we've cleared the right side and the left side, and we're gonna go over to the middle one. I'm gonna grab Cutter here. Now in the SNES version, you can just go straight to the right one and kind of clip through. However, that glitch is patched in this game, or rather just doesn't work because the engine is slightly different. Instead we have a different trick. We do that. Equally weird, if you ask me. We're gonna go down here. Now the thing you might have noticed is whenever I go through these platforms, I hold the shield button. That skips a little bit of an animation of Kirby like crouching down, which saves like 1 or 2 frames every single time. Also, we just got the Triforce, and we're gonna be selling it to Ganon later. He pays more. And that completes our treasure quests. Now all we have to do is fight Wham Bam, who is now politically correct. I do actually prefer this design. Like the Mayan design looks a lot cooler. I'm gonna do that, and we're gonna grab... Ah, damn. If you time correctly, you can actually get a candy out of that. It's slightly faster than using stone, but it's fine. Also rip ears. So now we're gonna go over to the final mine cart section, and then we're gonna ride some elevators up. Enjoy some music. And do that little trick to get over there. And then we're done with GCO. And again, there's a cutscene at the end, so we soft reset because watching cutscenes is slow. So, clearing all those game modes opens up Revenge of Meta Knight now, and here the Japanese version really shines because there is a lot of text in here, and the English version just takes so much more time. In this game mode alone, the Japanese version saves 1 minute and 15 seconds. Just in this game mode. And this is KSSU, so first things first. Ah, messed up. Got wheel. There we go, second try. Guess what we'll be using for the rest of this game mode? Jet. So this boss fight against Heavy Lobster, right here, we do not actually need to kill him at all, so we just don't. You can actually kill him before the timer runs out, but if you do so, the explosion of him dying actually causes a couple of lag frames. So doing that actually makes you slower overall. So you lose frames by killing him, so we don't do that. Even as a joke. Ah, damn. That was a weird one. So, the story of Revenge of Meta Knight is that Meta Knight is going to end the lazy lifestyle of Dreamland. Of course, Kirby doesn't want that. So he's gonna chase after the Hellbird. Which is pretty funny because the English translation is Hellbird with an E. And if you look on the bottom screen, you can actually see the health bar of the Hellbird with an I. Small little change. So, I heard you guys liked auto-scrollers. Here's an auto-scroller. Don't worry, we'll be out of the water soon. It's actually, if I recall correctly, because I did see that run on the Kirby Streamlet 2 run at SGDQ, the same meme kind of happened. It's like people just kept, like, because there are a lot of auto-scrollers in Kirby Streamlet 2, and it's like, I heard you liked auto-scrollers! Anyways, this is Wispy Woods. You'll be seeing a lot of repeat bosses. And just because we're not repetitive enough, 2 Wispy Woods. Or Twin Woods, as they are called. And we just jet them down quite easily. So we're trying to get back on the Halberd to stop Meta Knight, but we got shut down here. Shot down, not shut down. Do a little bit of movement there. We jump that one to death because he's really annoying. And we go over here to fight double bonkers. Ah, dang. A fun fact, that block that I just destroyed right at the end of the fight, on the English version it is 2 tiles up. I have no idea why, but that's the thing. Also, a lot of people go to the right and do a lot of movement, but you can just go up there. It saves a whole lot of time. And go over here. And into the cannon. Another reason why Jet is so amazing, you can just light things with it. And I can take another drink. And here we have Dynablade, who you've helped out earlier by teaching her kids to fly. And she's gonna put us on the Halberd right here. Also really good music. So those charge jumps that I do is basically just to put myself above all my enemies. Makes life easier. Here we're gonna have some Meta Knight fights. We're gonna charge during the whole text because it's easier. Well, it's faster rather. And all of these enemies die in a single jet cracker, so just have to use that to our full extent. So here we go a little bit to the right before the elevator goes down, basically to trigger this elevator to go down as well. And then we're gonna go right there, and that saves a couple of frames probably. We like saving frames. Kill the animals. Ah damn, I tried to grab the body of the boss there to kill Jukid. So as a little nod to the previous game, in the SNES version the next boss is called the Combo Cannon, but in this case it's called Main Cannon number 2. And this is the quick kill strat. Not very hard. So right now we're wreaking havoc on the Halberd, and that's gonna continue. Ooh, drop my jet there. So that was a nice combination of holding up and down to get to where I needed to be. My jetting is really off. A very important thing to think about while jetting is your spacing, and if you mess that up you can get hit a lot. We got a little lucky and we can do an insta-kill. Ah, that can happen too. We're gonna go on the star here. So there's actually a little glitch that I haven't really explained. It's called ledge tricking. It's this thing. Ah, damn, I messed it up. Let's try that again. There we go. So when you run off an edge, for some reason, if you press the B button at the right moment, the game will think you ran into the air. It's like only for a couple of frames though. And it's really nice. Also, here's another auto-scroller. Heard you liked auto-scrollers. Yeah, I'm trying. Hitting all the boxes in Ultra is actually harder than in the original Kirby, in the original version. Yeah. I have filled this, like, actually trying more than once. And yes, not hitting the boxes will invalidate your run, Kappa. Nice, we got good RNG. So actually, while fighting Heavy Lobster, I kind of hovered above him a little bit. I feel like that manipulates his RNG into jumping quicker than, or like more often than not, so. Yeah, sure, go ahead. I don't know what you're talking. Oh, the name of Heavy Lobster. Yeah, Heavy Lobster's name in the German language is Carbonator, which is pretty funny. The German version of Kirby games is usually the best version because it has the weirdest names. It's pretty funny. So here we're gonna go to one of the more annoying bosses to fight. After all this text. This is the reactor. So the way the reactor works is you need to guide that laser onto the crystal. You can with Jet get rid of all those boxes, speeding up your cycle, but it's really tough. And this boss is all about, like, killing things early. And I got really bad luck there. Oh, this luck is actually horrible. Yeah, this is horrible luck. Usually, it will spawn another laser real quick. This is just... I think this should work. There we go. I got some pretty bad RNG there. So right after destroying the reactor, guess what we have? Another auto-scroller! Yay! Usually, the SNES version has plasma here, we don't. So we can't, like, go all spaz out and just swag it up. Instead, I just try to shield to the beat. No. That would actually be slower. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Ah. You can actually, if you time your jet right, you can clip on the top of this elevator. Saves a little bit of time. And here we have another Meta Knight fight. This one is a little bit annoying to deal with, because the enemies spawn at the top. But that was really well executed. That was really well done. And there's a fly on my hand, and it's really annoying. Go away, fly. So now we're gonna fight against Meta Knight, and he wants you to grab a sword. But who brings a sword to a jet fight? Seriously? Oh, I guess Meta Knight does. So, as per usual with every single Meta Knight fight, wow, he is completely RNG. We got mediocre RNG. We wanted to have him do that tornado move a lot earlier because it spawns stars, which allows us to kill him quicker. So this is the final part of the game, of the big game of Revenge of Meta Knight. We just have to press the A button 3 times. And I already filled the first one, so that's pretty epic. And I got hit by Meta Knight. That's even more epic. 1, 2, and jump. I'm getting completely wrecked by Meta Knight. And we're not gonna leave the ship. But the game does count it as completed. It's pretty funny. So again, soft resetting at the end there to skip the cutscene. And we're gonna go to one of my favorite game modes, Milky Way Wishes. So the idea of Milky Way Wishes is that you do not have actual copy abilities, like you cannot swallow an enemy to get their ability. Instead you have deluxe copy abilities. You see these empty spaces on my bottom screen. We will be using the touchscreen a lot to switch abilities a little later on. Also a little trick there, learned from KSS runners. Thank you very much, Sonny Wrath. So first and foremost, of course, we're gonna grab our favorite ability, Jet! Which is just really good to have this early on. This is the reason why we went to Sky High first. The game actually expects you to have an order of the planets you go into, but we completely ignore that. Gonna grab this candy over here. And grab a wing right here in this maze.
We have a anonymous €1.5 donation without comment, but do know that your generosity is appreciated regardless.
So here we use the touchscreen to quickly switch back into Jet. And we're gonna grab this Waddle Doo while he's inside of Krakow to quick kill him. And do a little dance. So the next place we're gonna go to is actually a place I missed in my casual playthrough. This is question mark, question mark, question mark. It is, to some people it's like, wow, it's like, can you miss that? It's so obvious. But I completely missed that in casual playthroughs. It was annoying. Anyways, this planet gives you copy. Now copy is a really special ability because it's basically the same thing as swallowing enemies. However, because we cannot copy abilities by swallowing them, instead we have to use the ability copy to do so in this game mode. But we'll not be using that very often. As a matter of fact, we'll be only using it once, and it's the best use of the ability in the game. Might also be because it's the only one. So here's the best use of copy in the entire game. You can actually copy from mid-bosses. And that way we copy the hammer ability and quickly kill Bonkers there. So now we got hammer, and we basically have the 2 abilities that matter in this game mode. Hammer and Jet. And this is... Come on. I want to kill you. There we go. This is why hammer is very important to get. It can insta-kill certain mid-bosses if you time things correctly. It is, in this game, the biggest damage-dealing ability in the game. In the SNES version, that is Plasma, but Plasma was horribly nerfed in this game mode, or in this version. Also, I would very not like to destroy my DS's D-pad. And no, circle pad is not better for mashing Jet, or mashing Plasma. So here you have Wham Bam again. I already messed up the quick kill. You can 2-cycle him, but I messed up the timing for it. 3 cycle is still fine. Next planet we're gonna go to is called Mechai, and it's also called the Mechanical Planet. At least that's the subtitle, I think it is. So we're gonna switch back to Jet. I'm gonna go into the last cannon. It's simply faster. And we're gonna use the invincibility candy here to speed up our movement through here. Oh, that was... Wow, I've never done that in a run before. That was amazing. Usually I charge up a full jet twice, but I only had to do it once because I timed an air dash perfectly. I'm gonna go over here and we're gonna do this little button puzzle. But we're gonna cheat. Get onto the elevator, and it's 1, 2, 3, and it's the 4th one. Ah, slightly early on the hammer there. Oh, that was bad. Iron Man can be very annoying. And here we have Plasma. This is the only time you'll see it. Goodbye, Plasma. Rip the best ability in the SNES version. And I derped. So now we're gonna fight against Heavy Lobster. I'm gonna throw our hammer at it. It deals the same amount of damage as that fire attack you see me do. But it also loses your hammer. So, because of that, we only really use that move in Milky Way Wishes because we can quickly regain hammer simply with the tap of a touchscreen. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt a mix here because it's fancy. That was one off. I'm gonna go back to the usual strats. So if I do a mix there for candy, I can skip doing a damage boost right here. The game actually expects you to grab a candy that's like above here, but what you can do instead, you can do this and simply damage boost your way up. But you can skip that by getting the candy. And this gives us fire. And we'll be using fire for the next section. So here we're gonna use, because we didn't use the candy to get fire, we can use it for this section to go nice and fast. Ah damn, I messed up a little bit. Get wing to go up here. And stand inside of Bugsy. And get the suplex ability. Again, ledge tricking right here. And through these cannons, I only really need to press A right here, and I already messed that up. And right here. And then we're gonna fight against Chameleon Arm again. So like I said, this game likes to reuse its bosses. For this one, we're gonna use a neat little damage boost. Because whenever you get damaged, your animation resets as well, and that speeds up your hammer flips just a little bit. Let me think, what's the next planet? Yeah, okay. So, this is a 2D platformer. This means that we need to have a water level. Yay. It's not that bad though, but it's still a water level. And water movement in this game is not the best. But yeah, the bubbles are kind of fun. And we do get to see the swaggiest ability in the game from here. Because this is Parasol. Swag. It's actually not that slow at all. In Dynablade there are actually Parasol strats which are not even that much slower than the jet strats. It's pretty funny. Jet is just that good. I go up here. Whee! And we're gonna go through here. Switch the stone because otherwise we can't get through there. So you can actually beat this boss with stone really quickly, but I suck at it, so I just switch the hammer. And we get sword. And then we're gonna sit in these spikes for a little bit. This is another death warp. You can go all the way around, but it's about the same speed if you're full health. So if you enter with less health, it's always faster. So here's a little maze. Once you've chosen a path, you can go back. Well, you can go all the way back to the beginning, but that's kind of slow, isn't it? Luckily, I know exactly where I need to be. And then we have Fatty Will. This time he's giving us the good pattern. Don't get hit here. It's fine. I messed up. I'm gonna switch into Jet, so that I don't have to do that in the next planet. A thing you might notice me doing whenever I grab these stars is that I always do a certain action before it. This is so I do not bounce after grabbing the star, which saves like a second or so every time I do it. So this is Floria, and Floria has a nice little gimmick that certain doors that you go into actually change the season and open pathways to different areas. 2, 3. So for instance, we can only go through here while it's autumn, and only during summer and winter can we go through that. Go to this little door, and so on and so forth. Oh my god. My jetting sounds horrible to me. So there's like a timing to jetting, and I'm currently just having a horrible time at timing it. That was the wrong direction. And that was the wrong button. Nice. That's a nice time loss. Oh my god. So here we're Twinwoods. Again, we've seen these guys before. This time we just beat them with hammer. 2 hammer flips and they're down. And again, I'm switching to Jet here real quick. It saves a lot of effort in the very next planet, which is the toughest one to do. So I'm going to be a little bit quiet during it. The movement is, well, it doesn't seem very precise, but if you mess it up a little bit, you get screwed over a bunch. Like this. There we go. Okay. That was not too bad, except for getting grabbed once. I imagine the guest saying Izuma drop in this chat right now. So we're gonna go down here to get mirror. For the longest of time, I thought that going into the start menu to switch to hammer was faster there, but it turns out that it's a couple of frames faster to actually hold down the right button there. And we're gonna grab this star to a double mid-boss fight, which we're gonna kill really easily by throwing our hammer twice. Wow, he dodged me. I'm gonna switch into Jet here, simply because of the updraft, it makes your speed go up a little bit more. I haven't got lucky on those Bio Sparks. They can be really annoying. Let's see if I can get some nice movement here. In the TAS, Ninja is actually the best movement option because you can cancel those dives. I messed up a setup here. You can actually, with a special setup, you can one-cycle the Evil Knight. It's a lot harder in this version than on the SNES version, but you can do it. Oh wow, I got bad RNG. So whenever the Great Dragon starts blinking like that, he's shielding himself, or petrifying himself, so he takes less damage. That adds another cycle, so that's like a full 10-second time loss. Oh, wow. I think he should still die? Okay, good. So I haven't actually talked about the story of this game mode. So the story basically is that the sun and the moon have started fighting, and we need to collect the energy of the planets around us to summon the Great Comet Nova to wish that they stop fighting. However, the guy that suggested us doing that is going to betray us and instead wish to become the ruler of Popstar. And in the meantime, after he does that, for some reason, the Nova, the Galactic Nova as it's called, goes crashing towards Popstar. So now we're going to stop it from crashing into it. And of course we're going to do that with an auto-scroller. So who doesn't love auto-scrollers? And shoot-em-ups for that matter. Because this is a Kirby game after all. And what's a Kirby game without a shoot-em-up? Also, I'm just holding down the button here. It's a lot easier. And some people tell me that I should go for True Nova, which is defeating all the enemies on this in this auto-scroller. But that is way too tough in this version. I think it's basically impossible. I would like to see a task do it. So instead of just holding down a button, I can also mash the button, and that creates this, which you can use to quick kill this boss a lot easier. So I'm gonna skip killing these two, because after killing a certain amount, the screen transitions back, and if you mess that up a little bit, you lose like, I think 15 seconds, something crazy like that. And now we're gonna go over to the Marks fight. Now Marks is a bit of a troll. If we get lucky, we can save 10 seconds. If we get unlucky, we lose 10 seconds. So let's hope we get lucky. He always spawns on the same spot here. But here he always spawns randomly, and I got unlucky. Wow. If you do 2 hammer flips there, you can actually kill him before he does this move. At least we can swag kill him. And then we soft reset at the end to skip the cutscene. So now that we've done all the classic game modes, the arena is open. So we're gonna go over into the arena. And the arena is basically your average boss endurance thing, or boss rush. Because Hammer is simply put the best ability in this game for killing bosses, we're gonna use it to kill all the bosses. That's the wrong fight to do that on. Standing under certain mid-bosses while doing the hammer flip will spawn them in, will throw them in the other direction, and that saves a little bit of time because it's faster for you to get to them to kill the bodies. Also, this is the hardest boss fight in the game. And that's Bandana Waddle-Dee. Though Bandana Waddle-Dee is the true hero of this game. He is the best character. Also, here we have I was too slow. There's actually a little reference to the right and left where you see Mario characters in the audience. It's a little bit slow in showing that. Again, I'm messing up my good RNG here on Fatty Will. I'm gonna damage boost through Camellia Arm again. This version has a little bit less health though, so he just dies instantly after 3 hammer flips. And since we're gonna be damage boosting more often, I'm gonna grab some health. And I'm gonna pray to RNG. That's some good RNG at the start. More good RNG. So we can't one-cycle this version of Evil Knight because, well, we cannot regain our hammer ability. Okay, that's one of the faster attacks he can do. That was basically the kind of computer virus fight I want to have. The main cannon number 2 strat is pretty interesting. This is the main thing of damage boosting. Here we go. That was really nice. Now this Wham Bam rock is a lot easier to 2-cycle than the other one. If I don't miss time, my hammer flip. Good job, me. Whatever. 3-cycle is fine. There we go. You can actually hammer flip Dynablade, but it's slightly slower to do so. Wow, I thought that would hit. Luckily with hammer we can speed up the cycles a lot easier. That was a bad judgment call right there. That definitely hits though. And I messed that one up. This is not a good reactor at all. I am making so many bad judgment calls. Holy oh, huh. There we go. That was a slow reactor. So now I'm gonna get the fight Meta Knight again, and then once again he asks you to use a sword, but who brings a sword to a hammer fight? I sure don't. There we go. Pretty good fight. I'm honestly one of the worst players at the arena, if I'm totally honest. There are some really good runners for the arena out there, but I tend to like go for consistency over crazy times, so it's kind of my problem. Nice, 1 cycle. Was actually the slow version. There is a faster version, but I tend to mess it up too often. There we go. Usually when you hit Krakow that much, he will go like under the bottom, but this time he didn't for some reason. And again, we get to see Galactic Nova Nucleus. There we go. Meshing on point today. It's really nice. And that was Happy Lobster. So the final fight in the arena is always Mark's, so we gotta fight him again. And we're gonna pray to RNG once again that we don't lose 10 seconds to him being a troll. Nice, we got good RNG on that one. That was the arena, and we're gonna go over to the first new game mode that the DS version adds. This is Revenge of the King. Now the basic story of it is that this time DDD is seriously trying to kill Kirby. So think of this as Spring Breeze on steroids. It's got a lot more enemies, the enemies die a lot less easy sometimes, and deal more damage. Also, if you pay close attention and you've ever played the first Kirby's Dream Land, you might notice a few design features that are basically carbon copies of that game. So this is kind of a special homage to it. Exactly, I already heard it. This is exactly the first level design. And it keeps going, actually. No, this time it's an elephant. This is Fan. Or as my French friend likes to say, Fanfan. He just laughs his ass off whenever that happens. Oops. Also, Cutter is the fastest, actually not the fastest ability available to us. There is actually a jet mix in the start of Revenge of the King, but it is so tough that I have relegated it to IL only. It saves like 20 seconds, and unless I want to grind for 201 maybe, I'll go for it, but wow. It is just not worth it in a 100% run, in my opinion. I think I'm dead. I got screwed over. Wow. I hope Wispy Wood's Revenge is going to be nice. There is a chance I get hit here. Oh my god, that's the bad pattern. I gotta play this safe. No! That is really bad. That should never happen. I got completely screwed over. Okay, let's try this again with a full health bar. With a full health bar, I tend to not really care about the apples at all. Ah. Eh. Oh, I tried to do a dive right there, but I messed up the inputs. So this movement, if I get it, I really like doing. And I messed it up. Well, there goes Ninja. Don't really need it anyways. We're gonna switch over to a way better ability in just a bit. You can have 3 guesses which one it is. This is the easiest mix in the game. Of course I fill it. This is... Urgh! This is... Ah! Come on. Wow. This is a highlight. There's a highlight on my stream, which this kind of happens, only worse. I'm messing up the setup. There we go. This is the easiest mix in the game. First try. And of course I died. So that mix is the easiest mix in the game because it literally is the first ability on the wheel. So you just have to mash the button. There we go. That's how it's supposed to look like. Ugh. This is embarrassing. It went so well in practice. So fun little movement, you can just run over there. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's also not really what I wanted to do, but it looks okay. Have to have pretty precise movement, and I'm not too precise right now, so messing up more than I should. We got pretty good luck on Fireline there. He basically did nothing. Sometimes he can jump forward or do stuff like that, but usually you kill him before he does anything. I messed up there. So Lolo and Lala's Revenge, nice! That's actually, okay. So if you grab the things at the right moment, damn. You can actually two-cycle them, but it's a little tough. But this is a pretty good 3-cycle. I like it. Then we got another little dance. So Crash Clouds has a lot of levels that look a lot like the first game, if I recall correctly. Or a lot of rooms. This one isn't too similar. This one, however, should be familiar. And there goes Jet. Okay, that's a really big problem. That loses over 2 minutes, probably. I'm probably not gonna make estimate at this rate. Oh yeah, I need an ability. Whoops. Give me something. Thank you. This is gonna take forever. Luckily we can do that. There we go. That was not good. With Jet, this is a lot easier. I'm gonna switch the sword here. It's slightly easier through here. Now I need to think. I'm gonna go for my usual backup or keep sword. I think my usual backup is better. So this is the backup for when I lose Jet here. So it looks a little weird, but the mirror has this move, which deals a lot of damage. Ooh. There we go. You can see that I've done this before. Which is not a good thing. So before we go to Mount DDD, we have to fight against Kabula. And the way you fight Kabula is you try to stay a little bit above her or below her, so you can get double hits from both the stars going forwards and the thing going sideways, so that kills her a lot quicker. So, Revenge of DDD, there's some text between Banana D and King DDD, and they're pretty fun banter. So we're gonna drop a mirror here, because here we have our backup jet. So this part of the game is basically a boss rush. There we go. We got... oh my god. So I haven't actually mentioned a certain mechanic in the game. So in most Kirby games, whenever you get hit, you instantly lose your ability. However, in both KSS and KSSU, whenever you get hit, it's a random chance for you to lose your ability. So whenever you get hit, it's just... you need to get lucky. And it can be really annoying, because sometimes you make a little mistake and you get hit, and you get punished for it by losing a couple of minutes. Like a few moments ago. So this Fan is completely bonkers. It moves a lot faster and has a lot less interval between moves. I got pretty lucky though. Sometimes you can get like chain grabbed and killed. Doesn't happen very often, but it's really annoying. It's probably the toughest mid-boss to deal with. I'm just gonna do that. Now we're gonna go and do Twin Fire Line. Ah, damn, I should have shielded that one. I'm gonna attempt to mix here. Nice, we got it. So I just mixed another invincibility candy, so that speeds up everything quite a bit. It's pretty nice. You have to get a little lucky with getting the fire lines to be in that position. That's not what I wanted to do. Hello? Hello? Thank you. That's not how I wanted it to go. So, that's how you defeat Banana D easily. However, Banana D is so awesome, and you'll see why in a moment. So now we get to fight against DDD, and there you have Banana D in the background, even though he was killed. Like I said, the true hero of the game. So DDD gives you the best ability he could to beat him. He gives you a hammer. And really good music. Ah, there is a sound glitch that can happen from time to time here, that instead of DDD actually goes disco. It's really funny. It's completely random, but when it happens, it's the best feeling ever. I think the current world record actually has that for the kill sound. So now we're gonna go over to arguably the worst addition to this game. This is Helper to Hero. It's basically an arena, but instead of using Kirby, you use the helpers. Now, luckily, the game designers realized that this is not a very good game mode. So for 100%, we do not need to complete the game mode with all 20 helpers. Instead, we only have to do it with one. So of course, we're going to choose the strongest one, which is the hammer carrying one. Now, if I were to do all the helpers in a run, the run would basically be twice as long. It is that stupid. and I am definitely not that good with all the helpers. So for me, my PB, even albeit drunk, is a little over 4 hours. I know that the unofficial world record of all helpers is 2.5 hours, so it is ridiculous. Whoa, that was a really nice Dynablade. Another little tidbit about Helper to Hero is that instead of the bosses being in a random order, they are in a completely fixed order. I didn't know the order by heart because I react to it on the fly anyways, but... Oh, that's the wrong arena. But yeah, most of the strats with Bonkers are basically the same as with Kirby, except that your hitbox is a little weirder. Also, another difference between Bonkers and Kirby is that whenever you do a hammer flip, it actually stays on the field longer. Like, its hitbox has a longer duration than Kirby's. And I have no idea why, but it just does that. So you can go way earlier with your hammer flips. It also really helps against a couple of bosses, making certain quick kills a little easier. There we go. So again, we got computer virus. And this time, they have a little bit more health, and they have a different color palette. But it doesn't matter at all. We still use the same amount of cycles on them. Evil Knight still goes down in 2 cycles, and so does the Evil Dragon, or the Grand Dragon in this case. It's actually Great Dragon in English, but in the Japanese version it says Grand. And I am really bad at this video game. Wow. And he petrifies himself. He'll have 1 HP. Nice. Unlucky. There we go. Luckily these windows go away instantly rather than having to wait for a lot of text. Also we have to fight Meta Knight again. This time he doesn't give us a sword. I guess he finally realized that giving us a sword is a bad idea. We're not gonna take it anyways. And then we're gonna go to some special bosses. Ooh. So first we're gonna do Wham Bam Rock, and this is a good example of the 2 cycle being made easy because we're bonkers, and of course I still mess it up. Because why would I be good at video games? So this is the final boss of Helper to Hero. This is Wham Bam Jewel. He has 3 eyes. So Wham Bam Jewel has different moves and he deals more damage than Wham Bam Rock. He also has more health. And because of that, I changed my strats around just a little bit. But it's still a pretty easy fight. So, from the worst game mode in this game, we're gonna go to the best game mode. This is Meta Nightmare Ultra. Now, Meta Nightmare Ultra is, in my opinion, the perfect speedrun. Well, when it comes to 2D platformers, but no, it's not really the perfect speedrun, but it is basically the speedrun mode. You play as Meta Knight, you have a slightly expanded moveset from Sword, and you also have these little blue balls following you around, which are called points. Now you can use these points to use certain abilities, and you see these little after images behind me, that is Meta Quick. It basically makes you go fast. So yeah, perfect for speedrunning. You can also see that on the bottom screen there's this little in-game timer going, and it pauses at loads, so the developers already knew how to make a good speedrun timer, which is awesome. This also makes this game mode really good for running on emulator. So if you are looking to speedrun this game mode, feel free to do it on emulator, even though the touchscreen controls are pretty horrible. So this is another move that Meta Knight can use, which is called Mach Tornado. It costs 30 points, and it's basically a kind of screen killer move. Certain bosses can survive a Mach Tornado. There's a quick kill you can do there, but I completely messed up the strats there. So there's actually a little thing about Mach Tornado. Whenever you use it, the in-game timer actually pauses. This makes it for in-game timed runs a lot more interesting because you can use it more often. However, we're doing an RTA type run right now, so that means that my strats will be slightly different from my IGT strats. For instance, in the RGT, I will Tornado DDD, but the animation is just too slow for me to do that, so instead we slice him down. So you quickly saw a little leaderboard thing pop up. Another reason why this game mode is really good for speedrunning. It keeps the time for you. Kinda badly though, but eh. So that lunging attack, like the dash attack you see me do, is my basic mode of movement throughout this game mode. It is really useful because it deals basically the most damage out of any attack, and it gives me invincibility frames while being simply the fastest horizontal movement. Well, that's not completely true. Actually, there is a glitch with Meta Knight. I'm gonna try and show it off in a little bit. And that glitch actually causes faster movement. I'm gonna see if I can pull it off here. No, I missed it. I can do it in alt scroll real quick. Whee! There you saw me fly off in the distance. So that is what we call mega jumping. Whenever you do a dash, you can interrupt it by using the touchscreen to call a helper. And whenever you do that, you will reset Meta Knight's state to basically normal, but the game will still remember your speed. So for some reason, you can actually add to that speed. So you get the normal dash attack speed, which actually fades really quickly, and you can turn that into a jump, where the speed fades really slowly. So because of that, you get a really, really quick speed, and you also add a little bit to it. Here we go. So there isn't too much to really explain anymore about Meta Knight. I like to just, whenever I play this game out, I like to just kind of zone out and just enjoy the movement, because it's really slick when I do it well. But yeah, in this game mode, you basically go through all the levels that Kirby went through as well, because Meta Knight wants to prove that he is the strongest warrior in the galaxy. So he's on a quest to beat the strongest warrior or something. I don't know. We'll see later what that means. mustache is itchy. But if the host wants to say anything, feel free to do so.
Well, I can tell a little bit more about this whole event. Like, we are running in support of the Dutch Cancer Society, an amazing charity which aims to prevent and fight cancer and alleviate the suffering of those already battling the disease. 90% of your donations will go directly towards the Dutch Cancer Society. So get your donations in. We hold speedrunning marathons on location just like these every single month. So follow us on Twitter to get more information on those as they happen.
So another slight thing that I haven't really explained yet is point management. Now, on the bottom screen you have this little bar that fills up, and the maximum is 50. So you want to make sure that you use as many points as you need to throughout the run. But in certain sections, the point route is actually really tight, where you actually, if you miss 1 point, you're gonna lose like 5 to 10 seconds maybe. Luckily in the RTA speedrun, because we don't tornado nearly as often as in the in-game time speedrun, we have an overabundance of points usually, so I don't really need to pay attention to it that much. In certain sections I will have to pay attention, but especially in Dynablade I just have too many points. More than I can use. So for Dynablade it's actually really special. So the way Mech Tornado usually works is that you have to have the enemy on screen before you can actually damage him. But for Dynablade that doesn't work, that doesn't go. You can just use it whenever the health bar appears. I still like to see where Dynablade spawns, however, so I tend to make her visible. Nope, that's not the way I usually go. So for the Great Cave Offensive, we are completely unable to collect treasures, so we can skip all of that. So the slog of 23 minutes that Kirby has to take through it, we complete it in like less than 4. Preferably we do it in 3.5 minutes. Oop. Silly movement there. Go. So there's a cool little quick kill I can do on Fatty Will if I get the right strats. A thing you might notice that I did a dash right before using Mech Tornado. Now whenever you use touchscreen abilities while doing actions, well, touchscreen abilities that will cause animation, the game actually interrupts your current move. So I can just do a dash without having to care for where I'm going and just interrupt it with a Mech Tornado. So for the longest time during this computer virus fight, we used a Mech Tornado at the final one of these 3. But later on, we changed the point round around and found out that it was actually slower to do so. And instead, we used this quick kill. It's really precise. If I mess up a little bit, I mess up the entire quick kill. A fun little fact, by the way, these little numbers you see pop up, those are actually your stats increasing. It doesn't really matter much. with Kirby it's like things like love and roundness and cuteness. And with Meta Knight it's actually like coolness and sword sharpness and foot speed. Stuff like that. It's a pretty fun little thing. Nice touch. There we go. Nice. Again, shielding to save some frames going down those platforms. So for Wham Bam Rock, it's 2 slashes to get him down a little bit, and then we can use Mech Tornado to kill him. It was actually kind of bad, the way I did that. Because whenever you use Mech Tornado, you want to, definitely in RTA, you want to stay up as high as possible, because that actually speeds up the animation a little bit. Not by much, but it matters in the long run, because you do use a lot. Sub 330, that's pretty good. That's how I would like to see my Great Cave offensives. So now we're gonna go on to the Hellbird. So this is the Revenge of Meta Knight section of Meta Nightmare Ultra. And you would be like, why is Meta Knight attacking his own ship? It's a very interesting idea, isn't it? I myself would like to think that Meta Knight is extremely angry at his subordinates for not being able to get rid of Kirby. So he just goes on a rampage on them. So unlike Kirby, Meta Knight actually has to defeat this Heavy Lobster. It is completely mandatory. Ooh, I messed that one up. So, I heard you liked auto-scrollers. Here we have another one. Also, the best part about running this on a 3DS is this sound. You could do that on a normal DS, but it hurts your thumb a lot more than on the 3DS. So, talking about that actually, a lot of DS games are actually slower on the 3DS for some reason. So a lot of people don't run DS games on the 3DS. However, when it comes to this game, there's absolutely no difference between the two. And it's been tested extensively, so there is just no difference. So until recently, I tornadoed the Twin Woods here, but it's a single second faster to do this if I don't get hit. Of course I'm gonna get hit a lot. And I have just lost my honor. It's a bit of a running joke among the top runners of MKU that if you heal in an MKU run, you will lose your honor, so... There is a heal ability in this game, it costs 10 points, and whenever you use it, you basically are unable to do the next meta quick usually, which is kind of important. So here's a fun little fact. You see this animation of the Mech Tornado. Now you would think that the point of damage is in the center, but it's actually on the last position of Meta Knight. So when I used it there and I was to the right of both bonkers, they both flew to the left rather than to the left and right. So I haven't explained yet, but the flapping thing, you go up as fast as you mash. So just there, I did a double mash. There's actually 2 jump buttons on the DS, so I just mashed both buttons at the same time, and that causes you to go up that quickly. And if you do your movement right here, you can skip the little catapult. Ah, mistimed. There we go. Not the best Meta Knight fights, but they'll do. Again, going to the right a little bit to get this elevator down. Yeah, I'm gonna hit. So it would be slightly faster here to kill these 2 without Mech Tornado, but it's really annoying, so I would rather just not do that. There are actually newer in-game time strats where you do not use Mech Tornado there, but instead use it here, I think. Oh no, you use Mech Tornado on both those 2 and this main cannon number 2 fight. But that is a really tight point route that I haven't tried yet. And since this is RTA, I'm definitely not going to use it. It's actually interesting. So the current world record for this game mode is 24:08. It's held by me. And the second place time is actually only 7 seconds slower than me. And we currently think that sub 24 is probably possible. But we are really stretching the limits of this game mode at this point. We do not think that, at least I don't think that anything below 23:30 is possible. So this game mode is highly optimized already, and we're gonna optimize it even further soonish. And that's basically all thanks to the guest and a Japanese guy making awesome TAS runs of this game. So yeah, big shoutouts to the guest. He's the second place on the leaderboard for this game mode, and he is an awesome dude. And we really have a bit of a rivalry going on with this game mode. So yeah, can't wait to get back into that. A fun little story about that, actually. At one point we did a race, and he beat my world record during that race. And I got so pumped up about that 8 hours later, after having a night's sleep, I rebobbed him. So that was pretty funny. And we like go back and forth on the world record like that for a while. I kind of wish it was the same for 100%, but it's kind of lonely at the top there. I'm currently 6 minutes faster than the second place time, so it's a little ridiculous. So here, because we have a surplus of points, I can just use a meta quick here. In normal in-game time strats, I would not have this amount of points. I'm gonna think for a moment. Okay, so normally Revenge of Meta Knight continues here until you fight against Meta Knight, but fighting against yourself is not really something the game developers wanted you to do, so they cut that out. I messed up. I'm gonna. So there's a new strat here that I forgot about. So this is a little farming spot that the task found. And I used my Metaquick way too early again. I keep doing that. I'm still not completely used to these strats. I need to do more weekly races of this. Problem for me is that they're held like at 4 AM my time, so it's kind of hard to join them. There we go. So here, the Metaquick strats over here are actually a little bit hard, and you have to be good for them to pay off. And it's mostly due to that jump that I did there. That jump is a lot tougher than it looks. You can feel it really easily. Okay, here we go. I think Gus uses a Metaquick here, but I'm not completely sure. I'm not used to having this many points here, so I'm just kind of winging it. I got good RNG here. I cannot. There is a quick kill, like a one cycle kill you can do with the giant jump RNG, but I am really bad at it, and I fill it like 9 times out of 10. But when he does this attack, it's a lot easier for me, so I always hope for this RNG, so I don't have to embarrass myself. There we go. And on to Krakow. Okay. So the next section is Hot Beat, and in Meta Knight it is usually referred to. I messed up the timing there. You can actually, if you flap to the beat, you get perfect movement. It's pretty funny. But this is usually referred to as a destroyer of runs because whenever you get hit by lava, it deals a lot of damage. I'm also going to attempt my favorite Mega Jump. So that's a Mega Jump. It is really tough to do. I don't want you hanging on to me, thank you. That one is basically my favorite because it looks fancy. So usually you would save points, well in the in-game time drought you would save points here to do a Mech Tornado, but instead I used it for a Metaquick because it's actually faster to not use Mech Tornado in RTA. Instead we use this. And we go on to Cavius. Now usually, especially in in-game time, during Cavius, you basically have run out of points. But there are a lot of mid-boss fights here, so I like to call this the restoration area, where you just restore all your points and health quite easily. In fact, I already have basically too many points, which is actually really nice. I'm just gonna skip getting the points from Bugsy, it's not worth it. So this Wham Bam Rock has a little bit more health than the other ones, so I need to add another dash attack to it to properly kill it. Let me think. I think we can still make estimate. So for the longest of times, we thought we couldn't break these blocks without going through the cannons, but you can just do that with Meta Knight's Sword, because Meta Knight's Sword solves all puzzles, including that one. You can actually break those blocks with Kirby, but you'd have to use something like Hammer, so it's not really feasible. 1, 2, and 3. Just go over here. Now we fight against Heavy Lobster. If I got one more point... No, I wouldn't have actually. I wouldn't have tornadoed. There we go. That was pretty good. So there's another glitch that I haven't been talking about. It's called a DDJ. Whenever you do certain moves, there we go, that's for instance, and then whenever you do certain things, I needed to use that. I was like, why am I so slow? I shouldn't have been talking about DDJs. Oh well. Whenever you do certain actions in mid-air, like slashing your sword or bonking against a wall, for some reason you are able to use a normal jump in mid-air. And we call that a DDJ. It refers to drop double jump, even though you should take the double out of it, but at the time it sounded like a good idea. Simply because DDJ sounds a lot nicer as well. I have way too many points, and I was way too early on the Metaquick. I'm a little rusty in this game mode, still. I'm gonna grab some health here. So here we fight against computer virus again. This is usually like the point where world record can be lost quite easily. I have lost many world records to this fight simply by getting bad RNG. Yeah, I didn't think that would deal enough damage, but I think it would actually have. We can check. Yeah, it would have. Dang, that's my own fault. There we go. So thanks to this thing, we actually know exactly how much damage Mach Tornado deals. It deals 190, which is quite a lot. Let's see. Yeah, we're looking at a 209 right now, which is pretty nice. Maybe a little higher than that. Actually, going underestimate is gonna be tough, I think. We'll see. Anyways, this is Galactonite. So this is the strongest warrior in the galaxy. And because we want to prove that we're the strongest warrior in the galaxy, we're gonna fight him. So he has a lot of health. Our damage, we barely even see the health bar go down compared to other bosses. What? That dealt that much damage? That was not supposed to happen. Oh my god. Okay, well. Yeah, I think getting estimate is gonna be hard now. I got a little bit unlucky there. And he's doing some weird moves right now that I'm not used to. So if I had a Mach Tornado here, I could have killed him already, and skipped this part because this time it would have been completely random what he did. So, anyways, after so much action, this is the first unskippable cutscene. So I can finally sit back and just stretch for 15 seconds. Ugh. 26-29. That is not very good. I like to have sub 26 during 100% runs. And going under estimate is not going to happen. I'm gonna go over estimate, which is kind of annoying. I did not have a really good run anyways, so I had too many deaths throughout the run. Oh well. Anyways, this is the true arena. It unlocks after 100%ing everything except the true arena. And as with any arena, we fight. We use hammer throughout here. So this time we fight against all the newer bosses that were added. And this is really tough as well because in the normal arena you have maximum tomatoes. Here you have little tomatoes. So getting hit is usually a pretty bad thing to do. I'm still probably gonna get hit a lot through this Kabula fight. Wow! Damageless Kabula, actually. That doesn't happen very often. That was Krakow Jr.'s revenge. Not very hard. I hate this fight so much. Ah, that was bad. That was not the move I wanted to do, thank you. There we go. Here we have the mid-boss All-Stars. They take a lot of hits to go down. Or just 2 hammer flips. So the last 4, the first set of bosses are always completely random, but the last 4 are always the same bosses in the same order. They're also referred to as the last 4. And the first one is Mass DDD. And the next one is a Wham Bam Jewel. And we're just going to use the same strats that we used earlier. There we go. And then we have Galactonite. Now Galactonite with Kirby is actually a little bit easier because Hammer actually deals more damage than Meta Knight can deal. It's kind of funny. But the hammer flip is just completely broken. I should have done that earlier. It's giving me some weird RNG here. Yeah. This doesn't happen very often. You can't hit him like that, idiot. I could have killed him already. I messed up a few strats there, and I got the worst RNG on these minions. These minions are the worst to deal with. There we go. So, the final boss of the game is one that has spawned many copies over the years of Kirby games. This is the return of Marx, but he is now different. This is the first soul boss. This is Mark's soul. And I completely messed up the first section already. So Mark's soul is very annoying. He can pop up randomly everywhere. And that means that if you get lucky, this fight becomes really fast. And if you get unlucky like I am, this is a very slow and annoying fight. Oh my. That was a stupid spot to spawn in. That was bad. Now this is the kind of spawns I like. Okay, get ready on time. Oh wow, we're way over estimate. My headcanon estimate is a 206 for marathon runs. Anyways, get ready on time, and time. Well, I am Kinnin11, so... Anyways, we get the last Kirby dance, and the game tells us that we have mastered Kirby. So yeah, this is Kirby Superstar Ultra. I want to give a quick shoutouts to Anwonu for being the granddaddy of this game, for Kirby Master for helping me out with the arenas. I also want to shout out the Profane Glitch for recently coming to this game and finding the craziest routes and just tricks and whatever, and really pushing the envelope for me on ILs as well. So I want to thank all of those guys, and of course the Kirby community, which is a very open and welcoming community. If you ever want to run any Kirby game, feel free to go to the speedrun.com page and go to the Discord there, and just ask around. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this game. We're gonna go over to good old Night Shift Cruel with Lufia.